Why am I so against content creation? I'm not against content creation or content creators. What I don't like is the rubber stamp, unimaginative, not new, where you get 600 results when you put in a question at YouTube. Here's 600 videos about that. So I randomly picked one here because of the new Raider is coming out. And people don't realize the reason that the majority of photos you've seen of this aircraft are always from above. Now, the hopeless diamond is what they called it, but the F-117, that was a reflector. That used angles, just like a pool table, okay, to have the radar strike the airplane and head off in a different direction and not go back to the receiver. Okay? Let me show you something here when it was unveiled. When it was unveiled,
and crowd gathered were...
come on. They don't show much of it.
Entered service.
Come
the
on.
flying wing sort of falling out of favor for a while. And
see, again, we're getting the upper version. I want to show you something that's important here. Okay, this is why you only see the shot from above and why this is not angular. One of the people working at the Skunk Works was at Disneyland with his daughter. And they were in the cup ride where you sit in the cup and saucer and you spin around. And he had an epiphany that you don't have to have all these angles on an airplane. What you need is continuous curvature. I've made this video before to show people that it is about, number one, not letting the blades show here. No intake access to the blades because those will really, really, really set off a radar. But the reason that they always showed it from above, now that the new 21 is coming out, I don't know what the bottom of it looks like. But you can see now how drastically flying saucer shaped this is. And that is probably why we had so many UFO flying saucer reports. Because look at how curved the belly of this plane is. You have to have a certain amount of space here. This is what killed the original flying wing, okay? Was because if you look at the old flying wing, it's really thick at the wing root. So the cockpit and the wing root on each side were the same size. Very, very inefficient. Yeah, the wing was so fat that it wasn't producing much lift here until you got out as it tapered down, okay, and you started getting more and more lift. The dimensions, wingspan, is almost identical to the original. But where it varies is we have computers now to help them fly it. The reason that they stopped that program was 2 of them crashed. It killed pilots and crew, and they decided they just weren't ready for it. But now with computers, look at the curve of that body. So when this thing is flying almost over your head and your radar is pointed at it, you still can't fucking see it. Because with continuous curvature, it is only that minute little part, okay, that is pointing back at the radar. An airplane this fucking big, okay, and also the beak. This nose that does the little beak like a bird, okay? Otherwise, that would reflect back. So this is tucked here. And then all of these edges are a different material than the rest of the airplane. This is a very absorbent material. I won't say what it is, but it's very absorbent, along with the paint. So, but this is what I wanted to show you. Look at the curvature. And that's why we had so many UFO reports on this airplane. black UFOs. This is stealth. I can't wait. I guess in December we're going to get a look at the Raider, the B-21 Raider. I'm fucking excited about that. Believe it or not, I really want to see that plane. That is going to be a step above. You see, new radars are starting to use different techniques other than strictly receiving a signal back. They're actually timing the signal so that you send a signal back, and then how long it takes to come back. It kind of defeats your stealth program, because it's saying, oh, well, there's something here because it took longer for this tiny little signal to come back, okay, than it should have. Whether it was a B, right, or a B2, it doesn't matter. It took too long, so it was based on time. First, it was multi-phased array radars. They've all changed everything. All of these, radars that can change frequencies thousands of times a second, this kind of thing. Yeah, it's getting harder and harder for stealth to work. And I imagine that one day they'll have a telescopic visual system like they do with satellites in space now, that could look at a person walking on the ground and follow them and watch their footsteps and record where that guy goes, so that later on a person can come back and watch this guy do his little walk wherever he goes, okay? And then the next day, they can compare. Is he doing the same trip, or is he going under this building over here this time instead of his normal route? He's now going over here for just a second, and then they go look over there because that's important. They can do that from space with the camera. So you can imagine, see, the curvature of the planet limits the ability. So if you're flying really, really low and stealthy, one day that's going to be the safe way to do it instead of really high and stealthy. You notice they're black. I showed you the video of the two black dots, right? Because I live near Beale, which is where we keep all our secret airplanes. Very interesting. I can't wait to see the Raider. Just for me, it's a beautiful airplane. The B-2 is just beautiful. It really is. The continuous curvature, the smoothness of it, the way everything just, it just screams money. But anyway, this is why you didn't see in the beginning, before they rolled it out, no one could get closer than 200 feet. The back part of these engines was never shown. Never shown. You never saw the back side of this aircraft until after it was revealed and flown over football stadiums and shit, because at that time the technology was already old. When they debut an airplane, it has been flying for years. It has been flying for years. Okay? So, yeah, this one was 10 years. It had been flying, ready to go to war before they showed it to us. And it's probably the same thing with the Raider, too. And the nice thing is now we understand modularity. And so everything in the cockpit can now just be pulled out, and then a new unit stuck right back in, kind of thing. Yeah. Continuous curvature. It is not a hopeless diamond or a wobbly goblin or whatever else they wanted to call the 117.